My mom can cook, clean, and obey. Please, human, just give us shelter. Rain struck the tin roof in heavy, uneven drips, the kind that meant a storm wasn't passing. It was setting in. Thomas Brewer stood on the warped wooden porch of his farmhouse, mug of recycled coffee in one hand, and his old plasma rifle leaning against the wall beside him. The land was quiet. Too quiet. Ever since the Scarn War ended 2 years ago, and Earth joined the fractured galactic accord, these remote backwoods of Kentucky became a quiet exile for many, human and otherwise. That was when he saw them. 2 figures, stumbling down the muddy road toward his land. Barefoot. Shivering. The tall one was draped in what looked like synthetic cloth stitched together from ship insulation. The smaller one, her child, clung to her leg, skin a pale lavender hue, with dark speckling like stars across her cheeks. Her eyes were far too big for her face, wide with hope and fear. He gripped the rail. Aliens were rare this far south. Most had been relocated or repatriated. And the ones who remained? Scavengers. Survivors. As they drew closer, the child slipped in the muck, falling forward with a soft gasp. The taller one picked her up, dusted her knees, then looked up at Thomas. He didn't raise the rifle. Instead, the little one limped forward and whispered in a voice barely loud enough to compete with the rain. My mom can clean, cook, and obey. Please, human, just give us shelter. Their names were Lyra and Aina. He learned that quickly. Lyra, the mother, spoke softly, her accent oddly musical. She stood with shoulders hunched, as if afraid that being tall made her a threat. Aina, the daughter, was more curious than afraid. She stared at every corner of his home with awe, especially the wooden stove crackling with real fire. They hadn't eaten in days. Thomas gave them old potatoes and the last of the venison jerky. Lyra bowed her head deeply as if it was a royal offering, then fed Aina first. I don't take guests, he grunted. I'm not looking for a roommate. Lyra nodded quickly. We will work. Cook. Scrub the walls. Sleep outside if you wish. But she needs somewhere dry. Please. He looked at Aina, curled near the fire, watching the flames like they were magic. Fine, he muttered. For now. Days passed. Then a week. The chores were done before he even asked. Lyra mended clothes, chopped wood with frightening efficiency, and cooked meals that blended his human ingredients with strange alien flavors that shouldn't have worked, but did. Her hands were fast, deliberate, like someone used to surviving by pleasing others. He never asked where they came from, but sometimes at night, he'd see the scars along Lyra's back when she thought no one was looking. Aina, meanwhile, treated him like some kind of hero. She asked questions about Earth animals, laughed at the idea of cheeseburgers, and followed him around like a shadow. She even tried to mimic his Kentucky drawl. One night, while sitting on the porch beneath a sky sprinkled with stars, Aina leaned her head on his arm. Do you think we can stay forever? She asked. Thomas didn't answer right away. Then he muttered, long as no one comes looking, you're safe. That was when he noticed Lyra standing silently in the doorway. Her eyes were wet. She turned away before he could speak. It was 2 months before trouble came. A shuttle, military issue, landed in the clearing. Dust and leaves spiraled into the air. Thomas stepped out with his rifle already loaded. A silver-uniformed officer disembarked, flanked by 2 armored peacekeepers. He wore the Galactic Accord insignia and a smug, practiced smile. Thomas Brewer, he said smoothly. We're doing a sweep. War refugees. Some slipped through the net. You haven't seen any undocumented extraterrestrials, have you? Thomas stared him down. Can't say I have. The officer's smile didn't fade. May we look around? No, Thomas said bluntly. You're on private land. You'll need a warrant from the Kentucky District Council.
Ah,
The local charm. The officer chuckled. Well, if you do happen to spot any, be a good citizen. Report them. He didn't leave without tossing a glance toward the barn, where Aina was hiding behind the haystacks. That night, Lyra sat at the kitchen table, hands trembling. He'll be back, she whispered. He saw her. I know he did. Thomas nodded. He'll wait until he's got paperwork. Then they'll come. Take her. Take you. Lyra's voice cracked. I'll run. I'll take her. We'll hide in the forests. You won't make it 5 miles before they pick up your bio sign. Aina was sleeping upstairs, cradling the ragged plushie Thomas had carved for her. Lyra met his gaze. Then what do we do? Thomas tapped his fingers on the table. We give them something else to look at. By morning, the plan was set in motion. Thomas made a long-range call to a contact he had from his war days, Colonel Janice Rain, now head of the Humanitarian Board of Displaced Persons. She owed him a favor. A big one. Are you seriously harboring 2 aliens? She hissed over the line. Not aliens.
people.
A mom and a kid. There was silence. Then, fine. I'll see what I can do. In the meantime, he filed an incident report, claiming that wild poachers had used his land and escaped. That sent the Accord's peacekeepers chasing phantoms across state lines. Bought them time. He taught Lyra how to fire a shotgun. She was a quick study. Aina, meanwhile, made him a crude crown out of wildflowers. You're the king, she declared. This is your kingdom. Thomas didn't argue. 2 weeks later, the shuttle returned, but this time not with peacekeepers. Colonel Rain stepped out, arms crossed, face stern. You're lucky I still owe you for Red Bastion, she grunted. I'm cashing in all of it, he replied. Rain looked at Lyra and Aina. Her jaw tightened. They'll be moved under the Refugee Amnesty Act. You'll need to sponsor them as dependents. I will. They'll need to stay under observation for 3 months. They will. She looked at him long and hard. And if anyone finds out they've been here this whole time, I'll take the fall. Rain sighed. You always were an idiot with a heart.
Fine.
Pack their things. Aina ran to Thomas, hugging his leg tightly. You said we were safe, she whispered. He knelt down.
You are.
But now you get papers. A future. And maybe a place that's bigger than just this farm. She nodded slowly. Lyra approached. Her voice shook. I don't know how to thank you.
You already did, he said.
She looked confused. He smiled faintly. You cleaned my house.
Cooked.
Obeyed. He paused. But more importantly, you made this place feel alive again. Lyra touched his hand briefly. It lingered longer than it needed to. They were gone by morning. The house felt colder. Emptier. He poured himself coffee and looked out over the field. 3 months passed. Then one morning, as winter began to thaw into spring, a beat-up transport ship landed again. The door hissed open. Lyra stepped out, this time dressed in proper Earth attire, her back straighter, her eyes no longer haunted. Aina barreled out behind her, carrying a new plushie and a letter of amnesty. We're home, she shouted. Thomas blinked. Home. Lyra smiled. Only if the king still has room in his kingdom. He opened the door. Always.